Good morning, everyone. Dr. Morgan here. Really quick video about how to do intro paragraphs for an essay. As usual, this is foundational. It's a guideline. You don't have to follow this word for word. You can take it and manipulate it to make it your own, which is great. So here's just sort of the core parts, and then as we get stronger as writers, we'll figure out how we can make this our own and make it stronger and really have our voice in here. So here's the three foundational parts. You start, generally the first sentence or two is a hook or an attention grabber. Same thing, different wording. It generally is a startling statistic. It's a powerful quote. It can be an anecdote. My spelling's terrible. Anecdote, which is like a little story, a narrative. You don't want to get rambly here. Don't go on too much. It should really only be 2 sentences, 3 sentences. You can use I. You can use an I story if your paper topic applies and you have some connection to it personally. Again, don't ramble. It's not a memoir. It's just a couple sentences. Really what you're trying to do here is just grab in your reading audience. You want to give them something that hooks them in and grabs their attention. Simple. And you can be creative here. You can be thoughtful and interesting in a way that you have to be more academic in the rest of it. Okay? So there's some freedom there. The second part, which is longer, it's generally a good 4, 5, 6 sentences, is the context or background. Same thing, 2 different words meaning the same thing. Don't Google here. There's no need to Google. It's just common knowledge. It's your common knowledge on a topic is what's going to be make up this part. The third and most important, of course, is your thesis. You're going to end on your thesis. Always end your intro paragraph on your thesis, which is your position as an author. There is absolutely no need to use I feel, I think, I believe. All of that's implied. It's your paper. Just state your position, not your opinion, not I feel. I'll give you an example in a second, but the I is implied. It's your paper. Of course it's yours, right? You don't need I. So just have your position. Remember, again, no opinions, no feelings. This is purely academic. You're making a purely academic position paper, okay? All right, so I'm going to break this down. Let me just move over a little bit here. Sorry, awkward. This is a one-woman show, clearly. Okay, so here's how an intro paragraph looks. Remember, your Roman numerals always indicate a whole paragraph. Your letters do the parts. So here you have your hook. If my paper topic is the death penalty, then for a hook, I could have something about 9 out of 10 people are found innocent. What would you do if you were put on death row, put to death, and your family found out later you were innocent, right? Something shocking, something interesting, something creative. Couple sentences. The next part here is context. Now, we could, of course, Google all these statistics, all this information, but then if we put that all here, we have nothing left for our body paragraphs, right? So we need to save something good for later. So the context here is going to be very general. You can say things that are just common knowledge. You know generally so much more than you give yourself credit for. We're so used to hopping on Google immediately. You know a lot, so use that. You can say, the death penalty has been around for centuries, always a highly debated topic. Right? And continue in that vein. Sorry for my handwriting. This is as good as it gets. Right? The death penalty has been around for centuries. It has always been a highly debated topic, no matter what side you're on. There's evidence to support both positions. in this way, we're speaking generally about something, um, but not needing to Google it. We call that common knowledge or general information. It's the information we all have as adults. We just know a lot. By the time you become an adult, you know stuff. So this just sort of gives background and context. So that then we've hooked our reader in. We've given them enough contextual information around the topic that they're like, okay, death penalty, highly debatable, got it, check. And then what are you really looking for? After all that build-up, you've narrowed it down until you get to the thesis. And the thesis is by far the most important. Sorry, my thing keeps going out. The thesis is the most important. It's the steering wheel to the car. It's the driving force for the entire essay. So when we get to here, we've really built ourselves up now to say, here's what I think about this, okay? We just want to phrase it more academically. So if we were having a conversation, the two of us over dinner, or the 30 of us over dinner, we would say, oh, I feel like the death penalty is really complicated. There's a lot of racial problems. There's a lot of class problems. We can't speak that casually in an academic writing essay, right? No written essay we write in a way that is very separate from the way that we speak. So we're going to take something like a thesis where we'd say, this is what I think about it, and just phrase it academically. So in this case, if I wanted to say something like, I think that the death penalty is wrong because it has many problems and is very prejudiced against people of color, poor folks, and against men in favor of women. It's anti-sexist. So I want to say all that. How do I do that in a thesis? How do I do that academically? We would say the death penalty should be banned in the United States, and always write that out. I'm just doing it, I'm running out of space. In the United States, because it is, I'm out of space, is racist, classist, and sexist. Boom. Okay? So here we have a really strong opinion, but it's worded as a position, which is what we want in academics. It gives the topic, it gives our position that we want it banned, and it gives our three main points, which of course become body 1, body 2, and body 3. That's an intro paragraph. I'll do bodies and conclusions now.